Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1. What I'm going to talk about right now is practical for everyone. You don't have to be a prepper. This is just practical information on fire safety. As you know, I joined the volunteer fire department and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. The biggest thing I'm really accomplishing is networking and helping my neighbors, because our department covers about five miles in all directions. So it's good, because anytime I deal with anything with the fire department, it will be pretty local, and it could be on my street. So it's in my bubble. I won't go into my bubble philosophy right now, but working on a bubble philosophy, how preppers can use it to relate to everyone, and not just for prepping, but just with networking. So I'm going to talk about fire safety. First thing I want to talk about is, if you use wood, you definitely need to make sure your chimney is the right way. It's not deteriorated inside. It might look great from the outside, but the inside could be cracking the mortar joints. So look at that. And if you don't burn wood, you might burn fuel oil, you might have propane. Whatever it is, check out your heating system. If you don't know anything about it, have someone maybe guy at work or something that has some information. If not, you might have to hire someone to come in and say, hey, evaluate my heating system to make sure it's safe. One thing I have learned very recently is, if you put a wood insert into a fireplace, most of the time, if your chimney is fine, there's no problem. A wood insert slides into the fireplace opening, and it creates a much more efficient way of heating using your wood. If you're going to do that and you have a question on the safety of your chimney, go ahead and have them install triple insulated pipe from the insert going in and then all the way up your pre-existing chimney, cement chimney or block chimney. And this will create a very safe environment, because that chimney pipe is safe by itself, and then you put it inside a chimney and you're really, it will be an awesome safe way to do it. But that's an important part of it, because if you fail to do it correctly, you could have a fire. And we had a recent fire, and it was because a chimney problem. What I've learned since being on the volunteer fire department is a few things I want to share with you. And I'm not going to be politically correct, but if you are messy, if you're a pig, if you don't stay organized, that is not helping. It ain't going to help you as a person. It's not going to help you as a prepper. First of all, you might not be able to find things you need to find, or you might not have something that you think you have, or vice versa. So get organized, clean up anything, get to the point where you know where things are. Everything you own has a place. A few things: if you have a place for everything, when it's missing, you can say, hey, you can ask your son or daughter, hey, where is this? Because they probably put it somewhere else. So you can get organized and keep track of what you have. Plus, you can do proper maintenance on it. If you see it, say, hey, I need to change that or fix that or sharpen that. It'd make it much easier for you. If you have a lot of stuff just laying around that you don't really need, and it's just taking up space, get rid of it, because it creates a fire hazard. The more stuff you have piled in, you might have a simple electrical outlet go bad. You can smell smoke, but you know what? It's behind a pile of boxes and junk, and you have to dig your way into it. That's just creating a hazard. Another thing that I've seen, you have a bunch of boxes in your attic, in your garage, wherever. This could cause a problem. Let's say you have a bunch of papers in here and the box is open in your closet, and you do have a small fire, and embers fall down and they get inside here, and this is going to start on fire. I saw recently where you might not have that part of the house damaged with smoke or fire, but because we put thousands of gallons of water on the fire, it causes water damage. I highly recommend, if you got some things you don't want damaged, put them in a tote, a plastic tote, Rubbermaid, whatever it is, but with a good sealing lid. That way, if you do have to put out a fire at your house, it might only be small and you might be able to do it, you're not going to have a lot of water damage to that item. Also, say you have a safe and you mount the safe in your closet in your bedroom, but you mount it on the floor, and because we pump tons of water into your house, there's 4 inches or 5 inches of water in that bedroom or in that closet because it got trapped in there. Now granted, maybe it is waterproof, but probably not, because usually you have bolts that bolt it to the floor, bolt it to the wall. So if you have some valuables, you might want to take those valuables and put them in a Ziploc bag inside your safe. That way, if it does get some water damage and water gets into your safe, it's not wrecking those valuables that you put in there. It might be birth certificates, it might be anything that you don't want wet. Just think about doing that. Let's talk about construction. I'm definitely not an expert on firefighting. I'm learning every day. But what I'm learning, I definitely can apply to my homestead and apply it to prepping, and I can, most importantly, just apply it to life, trying to provide a safer environment for my family. So there's a few things I've learned. A recent fire, chimney fire, got into the attic. As soon as it gets into the attic, it can run both directions of the fire, or of your structure. So it's bad. And people say, well, it's in the attic, you can fight it. The problem is, if the fire's burning in your attic and you're outside, it's hard to put water on there. You have to get up on the roof. You have to make a forced entry so you can have access to the fire. Usually what happens is the fire takes care of that for you, and it starts burning the roof, and you have a hole in your roof. And as soon as you do that, then you're getting a lot more oxygen into the fire, and you create a problem. If you come into the house to fight it, which is the best way of doing it, to try to knock it down quickly, if it's in the attic, you have to get into the attic. You have to make a forced entry into the attic, and that takes time. So, especially if you got a lot of trash stored up there, all kinds of extra stuff, you don't need to get rid of it, because that just creates a big problem for the firefighter, and it creates a problem for you. I'm a big fan as of yesterday, of metal roofs. Asphalt shingles will burn. They become a source of material to burn. A metal roof is, I think, much better. I have never fought a fire with a metal roof. It'd probably be harder to gain entrance into it. But the shingles disappear. They get consumed by the fire. Also, if you had a forest fire nearby, at least when hot embers land on it, it's a lot harder to start a metal roof on fire. So I'm becoming a huge fan, which I was already a huge fan because of the rain catchment ability. Less asphalt material to get into your water. So, I think if I ever build another house, I will definitely go, without a doubt, I would go with a metal roof. I think there's, we're all really self-sufficient people if we're preppers. We don't like anyone telling us what to do. I am becoming a big fan of building codes. You might say, what? Yes, the reason is, when you're a firefighter, you go into a building, you hope that house was built properly, so you have a certain amount of time in there before the roof collapses. You can calculate, what I can do in before it becomes unsafe to get pulled out. So yeah, I'm a big fan, and I usually build things better than usual, but I am a fan, and if I ever build a house, I'm not a fan of attics, because what happens to attics, people throw stuff up there. They just put all kinds of stuff up there to store. But if you do have an attic and you're a do-it-yourselfer, you might be able to do that right now. I definitely consult an expert. I am definitely not an expert in firefighting, but a lot of commercial buildings have a lot of firewalls in them. They're rated. If you're looking down on your roof, you're looking down on the roof, and this is the ridge. This is the center of your roof right here. I think it'd be great to go ahead and stud in some walls here, and just put some firewalls. Stud it in, and then probably best to use metal studs, not wood. But even wood is better than nothing. And then a couple layers of drywall. Use whatever fire-rated material is out there. And what you basically have is 2 firewalls. So if you do have a fire that gets into your attic, yes, it will consume and burn. But when it hits that firewall, if you had a 2-hour firewall, that will buy you time. It will buy the firefighters time to try to knock this fire down so they can at least save part of your house. So yeah, I'm becoming more definitely interested in proper construction. After the last fire, I'm totally against wood structures. Yes, most people have to live in them. That's what we build them. I'm getting more into, hey, maybe we need to use metal, concrete, rocks, something that doesn't burn. Yeah, the stuff inside the structure is going to burn. But if we can make it safer for the occupants' daily living, make it safer for firefighters, and I think it would last a lot longer. Wood can be eaten by termites, can be a lot of things. So I'm becoming more of a fan of things that don't burn. And also, if the things don't burn, usually they're more bulletproof. You could probably build it more structurally sound for tornadoes. So I'm learning a lot, and I'm going to share with you. You don't have to prep for the end of the world. This is just prepping for every day. Thanks for watching.